Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Frontline Network's Company of Heroes 2 World Championship Tournament. If you're just joining us, we've already casted one series from the semi-finals of our tournament, which has been going on since Friday. We started off with 128 people, narrowed down to 32, narrowed down to 4 today, and that is what we are casting. We're bringing you the semi-finals. In the other semis, we had Marcus and Aimstrong going up against each other. Aimstrong came forward, took one look at his fist, threw a 1-2 punch and knocked out Marcus 2-0 in very convincing style. But now we are into the Symbiosis versus Sepha series. It's 1-0 down. It's 1-0 for Sepha's favor. He is 1-0 up on his opponent's Symbiosis in this best of 3 on Kolodny Ferma battlefields. We're going to bring you the second game, myself and CallMeSarge, in just a moment. But before we do, we're going to run a very quick little giveaway. We have a couple of DLC commanders to give away. We have the Soviet Commander Mechanized Support Tactics, gives you access to guards, rifle infantry, to anti-tank ambush tactics, which is the cloaking AT gun. You get access to Mark Target, the ISU-152, and the IL-2 Precision Bombing Strike. So it's a really fun little doctrine. We've got 2 of these to give away, and if you want a chance to get one, all you have to do is follow us on Twitter. So we're going to be giving one away to, we're going to be giving 2 of these keys away, and they're going to be given away to the 50th person tonight from this point on to sign up and follow us on Twitter at our twitter.com/TFN Shoutcasts. The link is in the description. So the 50th person to follow us will get a copy of that DLC Commander. The other copy of the DLC Commander, as we do have 2 of them, you can get by following us, or following me on Tommy TFN. If you follow me there, 50th person to follow on there will get access to that other doctrine. So we will let you know via email or via direct message on Twitter who has won by the end of tonight. So, other than that, we are going to be jumping into our second game of this series between Symbiosis and Sepha. It's going to be myself and CallMeSarge. Sarge, are you ready?
Mate, I am all of a quiver with anticipation. Let's get this one going.
Alright. Well, just give me one moment to open the doors here. We will open them up into the game, and we will jump right into this game where we're going to see what Sepha does when he plays the Soviets. So we're at the 5-second mark. Let's be unpausing in 3, 2, 1, unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
And yeah, Sepha, Soviets, I think in Soviet Russia, Sepha plays you. I don't know. But I'm expecting big things now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun because I know Sepha, when we've played the very pre-alpha all the way back at Eurogamer last year, Sepha and I and Helping Hands and a number of the other big community members based around Britain and Central Europe all met up at Eurogamer, and we got a chance to play the pre-alpha Company of Heroes 2, and I can tell you it was very different to the build that we are playing now. But actually it was the first time when we got to try out a few different kind of strategies and things like that, and I think it was there that the scout cars with the flamers inside was born. I think Sepha was the first person to start using those flamers in scout cars to great effect. And well, so far in the tournament, I have heard, although we didn't cast any of his games yesterday, I've heard that is his primary tactic these days.
And it's understandable why. It can be super effective, although high risk as well. We've seen a lot of scout cars getting dealt with very quickly. The one thing about it is it's not going to be a surprise when it happens.
No, and actually, you know what? Tonight we've actually seen quite a lot of good countering of those early scout cars. You know, we saw when Aimstrong brought out his first scout car against Marcus, it went down to MG42 fire and Panzerfaust very quickly. When Marcus did the same thing back to Aimstrong, he killed it very quickly. And then in the last game as well, they didn't really they had a bit of a better run last game when Symbiosis was using them, but even then, not that great of a run. So, you know, it seems like players are getting better at countering it because they expect it. So maybe Sepha's going to take advantage of that fact and do something a bit different.
Yeah, it would be a bit of a nice double bluff there. I'm also interested by Sepha's capping order here. It was set up to the fuel, but keeping the engineers close to the conscript, so if they do get into a scrap, the support can be there.
Yeah, he's opted not to cap these northern strategic points and the VP there, instead going straight for the fuels, so possibly a fuel-centric strategy. Although, of course, the strategic points in Company of Heroes 2 do give a little bit of munitions and fuel as well. Sort of like they give plus 3 fuel and plus 5 munitions each, so they do give a little bit of fuel themselves, not just confined to the actual fuel points.
And interesting that Simbi's chosen to shove that MG straight into the church there in the centre. I think he's very keen to lock that area down.
And it's understandable, you know, that church is a very strong building. You stick an MG in there, you've got a good sight lines over lots of negative cover road. And actually he's got a sight line all the way down here to this conscript, trying to cap this cutoff point just outside the austere base, but I don't know if he's going to get it. He's actually got pinned, but he's able to grab the house anyway.
The building.
Able to teleport himself into the house. We do still have a cutoff move, though, from this other conscript squad. Now 2 Grenadiers being sent to deal with them.
Yeah, they are able to complete the cap, but they're not going to be able to hold that area for too long.
No, they're going to have to move out of there sooner rather than later. But the second conscript is coming up. Maybe the 2 conscripts can gang up on a single Grenadier.
And Special Rifle Command T1 is going up. And, yeah, I wonder if we'll see a clown car before too long.
I think you might be right in that prediction. Something tells me you're going to be right there. With 3 conscripts so far, so no 4 conscript build. Probably going to be seeing a scout car with a flamer, although no flamer has actually been purchased yet.
That's a good point. No, there's no flamers being upgraded. Maybe he's preferring guards rifle.
He might be. He's still some way away from his first CP.
Now.
Okay, and the first scout car is gonna shortly be purchased, I predict. Yep, actually it's 2 of them have been queued up instantly.
And that's an interesting choice. 2 of them. What would it cost in munitions to do the upgrade on the scout car twice?
Ooh, well, it would be 60 munitions times 2, so 120. But I mean, one of those armored cars with the upgun can actually counter. I could say that could counter two scout cars without too much of a hassle.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I was thinking maybe you would go like very heavy scout car, just absolutely smash the M3 out the gate, and that would really put Sepha on the back foot there. A big psychological victory as well. I mean, short of the, I guess Sepha's only other option for trying to deal with the MG in the church would be conscripts and mollies.
Yeah, and Molotovs haven't got much of a look in this series, actually. In all the semi-finals, we have not seen Molotovs as a fast tech like we saw yesterday. It was all about the Molotovs and the hit the dirt and the PPSHs. We're seeing a very different style of play here tonight, both in terms of the Soviet and in terms of the German play.
So here comes the scout car. That MG is getting out of there quick time. There's no point in him hanging around and taking damage.
He's actually going to be forced to retreat. And there's another MG backstopping him just a little bit behind. If Sepha sees that, he might go for this second one. That's going to force this one to get out as well. 1 kill already.
A little bit late on the exit of the building there.
Yeah, he did take a little bit more damage than was strictly necessary. And actually, look at this. Sepha still applying the pressure, still going for this brutal cutoff here. Really doing well.
Second scout car and flamer combo out. So 2 M3s, 2 flamers.
Wow, and so far, Sepha is playing divide and rule extremely well. He's split up the austere forces from Symbiosis. They're scattered all over the place. He's finding lone Grenadier squads which aren't able to deal with him. He's finding lone NGs, and he's doing good damage.
And now the Axis scout car is on the field. The 221 is gonna be looking to put in and work on his M3s, and here it comes right now.
Well,
I don't think they were expecting to see each other.
Wow, that was a very quick, that was a vaporization of that scout car.
And they denied the building as well. Those engineers taking heavy damage there. They were trying to get in, but the MG just pepped them to the building, and they need to GTFO right now.
So the hard counter to these scout cars is now out, but still Sepha chooses to build another one. He really wants those 2 scout cars. He's built himself a 3rd, so he's going to replace the one that he did just lose.
AT grenades being upgraded from the HQ, so maybe the plan is to bait them into some conscripts and AT nade them. It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, guards rifles. Guards rifles have just been ordered as well.
Ah, so, guards are here.
Yeah,
and he's going to make a Marcus car. That's what he built the
car.
second scout car for.
And Sepha's really done quite well on the map as well throughout all these shenanigans. He's capped up, and Symbiosis not enjoying anything like the map control the Axis had in the first game.
Oh no, definitely not. He's been really pummeled, and he's had a lot of cut-off action against him by Sepha. He's really done a good job about keeping out that cut-off pressure. Even though his conscripts aren't getting really any vet, and they're not really getting any kills, he's still applied a lot of that resource pressure, and he's held both fuels for most of the game. He's actually chosen to get himself another scout car. This is going to bring him up to a total of 3. It's the 4th scout car he's got. He's coming in now with a Flamer Clown car and a Marcus car over on the other side of that hedge. This could be a very powerful attack here as he comes in with dual scout cars. The Flamer instantly takes down the MG42. Here comes the Marcus car coming into the rear now. The armor car taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's focusing on the wrong. It's focusing on the wrong M3. It needs to be focusing on the. Whoa, there was a pack. Didn't see the pack in the back.
Wow, no, I did not see that.
And yeah, he's just chewing through these scout cars and going out of fashion.
Nice guards grenade on the pack crew. Doesn't kill any members, but does do a little bit of health damage there.
And yeah, if he's got units here, he can move these up. And there's also the possibility of sitting the MG. He can get some conscripts up there.
He's gonna oorah up to that MG. He does steal the MG. That's a nice bit of Axis weaponry to steal at this fairly early point in the game. And we have yet another scout car has been queued.
Wow. Is this a Sepha scout car spam strat?
He is really going after these scout cars. He is not going to let Symbiosis get a moment's rest. I mean, normally, when you get a sort of a strong vehicle coming out, when you kill it, you can sort of think, oh, it's okay, I won't be seeing another one of those for a while. But Sepha is not going to give Symbiosis that satisfaction. He is going to keep on making them until Symbiosis gives up.
And yeah, just more and more and more M3s. Now, the half-track is on the field. Axis half-track, that is. We'll sure be seeing the Flamen before too long. But these massed M3s could really prove a headache for that half-track.
Yeah, I mean, he's after losing a couple of them, he is back down to 2 again. But even so, 2 scout cars not to be sniffed at. Especially with the guard squad inside, they can really do a number on that armoured car, which is only just now getting repaired back up to full health.
And yeah, the other nice thing about the M3s is giving the Russian player, Sepha, nice mobility in the cold. Doesn't have to worry about units freezing on the way over to the VP or whatever. And Sepha's sitting on 120 fuel. I'd like to see a little bit more tech. Maybe start thinking about the next phase of the battle.
Nah, what's tech? What's tech when you've got scout cars?
Build more scout cars.
Build more scout cars. I mean, why not? You know, I mean, Symbiosis isn't really punishing him for not teching. That's the thing, because he hasn't had the fuel to be able to tech himself. So if Symbiosis isn't pumping out tanks, then really there's very little incentive for Seph to start pumping out tanks, because, you know, a scout car is going to fulfill the role, the anti-infantry role, that something like, say, a T-70 or a T-34 does anyway. The only thing it lacks is that anti-tank ability, but there's no Axis tanks, so no problem.
It's interesting that while Symbiosis has destroyed several scout cars, he's not really done too good a job mopping up the infantry that were riding in them.
No, there's still a lot of infantry running around. There's still 2 flamers, and oh my god, there's another scout car. We're now up to 3 scout cars now. There's no, this is relentless.
Just put everything in scout cars.
He's putting everything in scout cars. He's got 2 flamer cars, 1 guard squad in a car. I mean, and actually he's found his right target here. The guards are going up against the armored car, but they're getting really chewed up though. The scout car is almost certainly going to go down here, but the guards do start firing. They button the armored car at close range, getting in some nice hits there with the PDRS rifles.
And yeah, they're hardly taking any damage as well. The half-track wasn't able to mess them up too much. Here comes the infantry though. And
here comes the clown cars. It's a double whammy. They decrew a pack almost instantly. There is a second pack, but it's not facing in the right direction. These clown cars, they're going to circle strafe around him. They're probably going to be able to decrew this in just a matter of seconds.
And
that pack is decrewed.
This is what you're supposed to do with clown cars, although they both look like they might go down to the scout car now.
Well, there goes one of them. I think he's going to try and block the other one. No, he's just going to shoot it. There goes all 3 scout cars are now destroyed. But does it even matter after wreaking all that havoc? They could even steal that pack. They're going to steal that pack. That's a huge win for Sepha. Now he can turn that pack onto the AT gun. Maybe that's what he was after this whole time. Maybe that was his strategy. Just forget teching. I'll steal all the AT I need. He's turned it around. He's firing on the Axis half-track. This is looking really bad. He takes out the Axis half-track.
Dear.
It's all collapsing for Symbiosis.
And if that was his plan all along, that was some genius. A genius maneuver there. Acquire AT elsewhere. He's going to need to protect that pack. You don't want to lose it straight away. The MG's coming up, so that'll help with that. But it looks like Sepha's ready to establish himself a little beachhead here.
Oh, there's a nice bundle. Oh, it's our first hit the dirt of the day.
And we're lucky to get away so lightly. I thought the whole squad could have gone down there.
And still, Seph continues to sit on Symbiosis cutoff. Symbiosis continues to just deal with the fact that he has next to no sectors under his command. He's got 2 sectors just outside his base. And actually, look at the VPs. Seph has been pulling off a clean sheet so far. He's still sitting on a clean 500.
That's not all he's sitting on. Almost 700 manpower a second ago, and nearly 200 fuel, which he's just dumped a load of. What did he spend it on?
He spent it on a tier 3 building.
There you go.
So he's going to be building himself maybe some T-34s, maybe some T-70s. There's some hit the dirt there, but there's a nice bundle right on top of them.
Ooh.
Whoa, and
Loses
executed. Yeah, well, he paid for that, to be honest. If you're going to use hit the dirt against Panzer Grenadiers, you should expect to be bundle naded in the face.
And that's the nice thing about hit the dirt, is you just can't instantly pop out of it the moment they throw the nade. If you commit to it, you probably are going to have to eat a nade.
Or retreat.
Or retreat.
But even so, I'd gladly pay a bundle nade to force a retreat every time. I had to pay 100 munitions for that in Vico.
This is true. MG in the house is dueling with the scout car in the middle there, but that's just going to be a nice score draw inconclusive at the end.
Here come the guards.
Guards, rifles, yeah, they'll see him off quick time.
They're going to grab themselves some nice comfy green cover here, and look at that, that's a Vet 3 armoured car right there. I mean, he's killed 6 scout cars, ladies and gentlemen. 6 scout cars have died to the hands of this armoured car. That has got to be the MVP for Symbiosis Army. That's the unit that has kept him in so far. So if scout cars are getting you down in your auto match games, that is the unit you want to build. You want to upgun yourself an armoured car. Although you may not have Symbiosis Micro, it's got the potential to do all your scout car killing duties.
And the first T-34 is about to hit the field. What's the Axis AT looking like right now? They've got the single pack. Is there anything else?
There is just a single pack. Oh, being joined by a brother now. Yeah, he's being joined by another pack. So it looks like Symbiosis is quite content to sit in tier 2. I guess he doesn't really have any choice. I guess he doesn't have the fuel for anything else.
And yeah, I wonder if he should be getting himself a mortar or something to try and... because his positions are fairly static. So he needs to start attritioning Seph a little bit more.
Yeah, well, Seph has certainly been driving the game so far with his scout cars, but now he's had his fill of scout cars, he has finally teched, and we are now into tank stage of the game. We're now into T-34s.
It's interesting that Seph is firmly maintaining his flamethrowers. He just upgraded another flamethrower on engineers. Yes, he really wants to make sure he maintains that infantry killing power there.
Got hit the dirt being used on these conscripts here with PPSHs. They're going to be very tough to deal with.
And yeah, that scout car, I get the feeling, is about to meet the T-34 in the not too distant future.
But there are 2 packs, so, you know, Symbiosis is somewhat prepared. He, you know, in a lot of ways, he has all the tools he needs.
Way out of position, though, I think.
Yeah, they're quite far back. And look at these Panzer Grenadiers with like 10% health. He really needs to get those guys a little bit of healing. We have a second T-34 queued up and another conscript to replace some of the losses. 2 conscript squads have actually gone down in the space of the last few minutes. So he is down to just a single conscript squad, but it doesn't even matter, it feels like, because he has so much other infantry in the form of this guard squad and these 2 engineer flamers.
Yeah, plenty infantry there. Now the engineer flamers are laying a nice little mine in the south, just making sure that getting that fuel is going to be costly for Symbi should he decide to take it.
I
And
wonder
another
if Symbiosis
T-34
noticed
about to
that.
pop. Yeah, he might have done. He's got visual.
Whoa, the flamer just exploded there. That's a loss of the flamer on that squad.
Yeah, it's going to be painful.
Whoa, it's a loss of a
Goes down.
squad. Well, that's a little win for Symbiosis there. Maybe he can start to breathe out. I mean, he's now facing 2 T-34s though, so he's not comfortable. He's far from comfortable, but it's maybe not looking too dire.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that the scout car's just still operational. I mean, I guess that Sepha knows that there's going to be packs around the scout cars, probably going to try and bait him in. And yeah, he doesn't have a pressing need to kill the scout car. That's when you've got two T-34s, you need to be killing something.
Well, the scout car is kind of redundant now because that upgun doesn't make it very good against infantry, and there's no more scout cars coming out. It can't do anything against the T-34, so really it has nothing to shoot at besides just plugging away at infantry and doing what little damage it can do.
Yeah, it's a good call.
Little lull in the action while both sides lick their wounds. The emphasis being on Symbiosis.
And the blizzard as well as is definitely keeping them static for a second.
But look at this, I mean the triple cap goes so fast, pretty soon Symbiosis is going to dip underneath 200 VPs. I mean, we should add, Symbiosis, if there's any guy who is comfortable in a game while being triple capped and after having such a rough ride for most of the early game, it's Symbiosis. This is a guy who has made countless tournament comebacks from positions that looked unwinnable, so you really cannot count this guy out until the game ends, really.
Well, I'm about to do one of the few things I'm ever going to do in my life, and that's actually correct Tommy about something about Vico. Just heard from Peter that the upgun scout car is actually pretty effective against the T-34.
Really? Okay.
Apparently so.
Alright. Well, I know it definitely didn't used to be. It must, I guess, in one of the latest patches, I think it did get its AoE damage buffed, so it probably got better versus infantry.
And Simbi's still getting pinned back, but he's managing to consolidate his forces pretty well. There's a lot of units in the centre there. Nice mix of units as well. 2 packs. Grenadiers,
nice bundle. Nice bundle. Half the guard squad goes down.
Oh, I think Sepha just lost No, he's got very cold troops. I think he died there. But you need to be careful of that.
This armoured car now up to 14 infantry kills. But here comes the T-34 now, poking his nose out with his brother joining him. You need to double T-34 call in. So you just build 2 T-34s.
Yeah, and they are really going to be doing a number pushing through here.
He's not really attacking with them so much as using them on the fringes, sort of preventing capping, just generally being annoying, being in places that Symbiosis can't really counter them. He's got to keep both those AT guns centralized, lest he be rushed. So he's got them both in around in the middle.
So just a little bit more data on the scout car upgun. 35 penetration versus 70 armor, 50% chance to penetrate at 20 damage per shot, meaning it's not going to beat it in a 1v1, but it can hurt it quite a bit.
Okay. So it does still serve a purpose, it does still have a reason to be on the battlefield, and Symbiosis is doing a good job keeping it tip-top at that Vet 3 state after killing so many scout cars. But now the pressure is about to just get tighter. Sepha is about to turn the screw a little bit more. He has added a 3rd T-34 to the mix.
That's going to be really hard for the Axis forces to handle there. I'm just starting to wonder though, with that kind of upgun ability, I wonder if we could see like massed scout cars taking out T-34s. Like
it's
3 or 4.
probably plausible. I mean, anything's possible within the COH engine. I mean, theoretically, you probably could have had an engineer take out a King Tiger if you left them for long enough, but it would just take several years.
Kind of reminds me of the idea of a little bit of that old six-bike Wormack start versus Brits. But anyway, back to the present, and it's all going down in the centre here. Guards, rifles and conscripts battling it out with those Panzer Grenadiers. Nice backstopping from the legendary scout car. 15 kills at Vet 3, he's just a monster.
Scarecrow's doing a really great job. Down here, though, 2 T-34s are way more than Symbiosis can handle right now. There's no AT really in the vicinity. All the AT is centralized around the middle, which is precisely where the tanks are not.
Yeah, and that low health conscript squad charging the pack. Oh, very low health. Just makes it out by a whisker. Could still go down a retreat actually, because there are some grenadiers near there. Oh, they don't even get a shot off. Must have been fog of war.
Oh my god, look at the VPs. We're down to 31 VPs for
Wow.
Symbiosis, with Sepha still sitting on a cool and comfortable 487. He isn't going to quite manage a 500 clean sheet victory, but I'm pretty sure he's got this one in the bag, and a comfortable one this is too.
What do you think has been the key to kind of like Sepha's success here, Tommy?
I don't know, honestly. I thought, you know, that it would be the Germans that would fall down, you know, sort of going off what we saw yesterday, that we'd see the majority of Soviet wins, and the winner would be who could master the Germans better. But it feels like Symbiosis, despite playing a very good German sort of strategy, it just feels like Sepha played better. Those scout cars just applied so much pressure. Symbiosis was never allowed to move out of his base, and he just split up his troops a little bit too much. So those scout cars came along, they found lone squads, unlike versus Armstrong when he kept them all grouped up together. And, you know, they got found out and they got taken out. And actually, that's the end of the game.
And these 3 T-34s are just far too much to handle now. Oh, look at the nice two-way flank on the packs, but this replay over.
I know. I mean, it was going to be over anyway, even if the game had gone on for longer. It would have been in the bag there for Sepha. But that does mean, in fact, that Sepha goes through into the semi-finals. No, into the finals. Sorry, Sepha wins his semi-final bracket 2-0 against Symbiosis. So that's both semi-finals very decisive 2-0 victories. Both times we've got Armstrong winning his group against Marcus, and then we had Sepha winning his group against Symbiosis. So it's 2 decisive victories, and now those 2 great players are going to go up against each other in the finals. In the finals, guys! This is for $1,000 these guys are going to be playing for. It's $1,000 for the guy who wins this next best of 5 between Sepha and Armstrong. It's going to be absolutely epic. I can imagine these players, their hands must be shaking with the tension and the stress of it. I wonder if we're going to be seeing any horrific slip-ups, any kind of sloppy play. Will the pressure get to them? Although you have to remember, Sepha and Armstrong, both tournament veterans. These guys probably very cool, calm, and collected. But we shall have to wait and see. We're going to take a very quick break and switch over to those finals games. Also, when we come back, I will reveal the winner of the 2 winners of our little DLC giveaway from these 2 commanders, and we will send you direct messages on Twitter after this broadcast is finished. So I will reveal those when we come back, just before we start the finals.